Folks, Daily Landsblog. Woo, threatening with this object. It's a tongs.
Yes.
That can be a deadly weapon. Daily
Very.
Landsblog, I know, for the 1st of September 2020. Yesterday, of course, was the 31st of August, a day that was the anniversary of my friend and many people's friends, Wade Belak. So I talked about that. I didn't talk about International Overdose Awareness Day, which was yesterday, the 31st of August. International Overdose Awareness Day. I would think of all of the awareness days, and it seems like every day is an awareness day of something. This would be one of the most important, because I believe when you talk about the stigma of mental illness, it is at its absolute worst when it comes to overdose. There's the perception that people that overdose are losers, that they are people that have no self-control, that they can't deal with their own lives, so they choose to disappear within the fog of their drugs, and that they can't cope with it, and they can't say no, and that somehow it's their fault. And this day, International Overdose Awareness Day, is so important because it acknowledges the fact that it's not about a weakness, it's really about self-medication. And addiction is incredibly difficult to break. And we used to think that people who were addicts were just, were losers, were either street people, never acknowledging why they would possibly be on the street, or that they were people that just like to get high. And then we start to realize, well, wait a second here. A lot of those people are you and me who became addicted, say, by prescription medications that were prescribed by a doctor. So it wasn't like they were out on the street looking to buy drugs. So I think that of all of the awareness things, one sec.
Yeah, you left that on there a long time.
Of all the awareness that we need to bring, overdose, drug use, addiction is where the stigma still is at its absolute worst. Imagine you go in for hip surgery, you come out and you're taking Oxy because the pain is bad, and your doc says, I'll give you 2 weeks worth. And at the end of 2 weeks, you're an addict. And you start to chase the drug, and it owns your life. And sometimes you take the drug and it's got something in it that may be like fentanyl, that ultimately could kill you, and we look and say, oh man, that guy was such a loser. Not the case. Sicknotweak.com. God, I hate this. I hate talking about this, but I think it's so important. 24 hours a day, 425 days a year. We're here because someone needs to say, if you look at somebody who has overdosed and survived, or overdosed and died, and you look at them and you think, it's their fault, I got no sympathy. How many times have you heard this? I got no sympathy for someone dies of a cocaine overdose or of a heroin overdose. You got to think about that, because you know what? You're making a big mistake.